This is Martin Luther King on steroids.
To cherish, you have to cherish Marky to start. You have to cherish him. It's like a fine wine because that's what you have.
This is Michael Popok with the Legal AF YouTube channel. Well, Donald Trump, exhibiting that stellar judgment we've come to expect from him, is endorsing the black Nazi against Kamala Harris in North Carolina. In other words, he wants Mark Robinson, the lieutenant governor of North Carolina, who's already, through CNN reporting, has already been outed as somebody who participated willingly, I would even say enthusiastically, on black porn sites, one called Nude Africa, in which he, both under his own name and as mini soldier, decided to call himself a black Nazi, to endorse Adolf Hitler over Barack Obama, to use slurs against Jews and other ethnic groups, all really under his own name. I mean, CNN didn't have to do much to corroborate once they got the lead that this guy on Nude Africa, Black Africa porno site was Mark Robinson. And so they corroborated it because they found that his full name was used on the website, along with biographical details that linked him back, email addresses, and the use of Mini Soldier, which he's used before. Now Mark Robinson has got a big problem. I mean, going on a porn site, I guess that's an issue that voters should know about. But so enthusiastically participating in it, and even going as far, just so you know, Mark Robinson's position on social issues is that he's against giving any civil rights to people who identify as transgender. So he's anti people who are transgender. And yet, on the Nude Africa site, he frequently said that he's a perv, his words, that enjoys transgender porn movies. Okay. I mean, does this surprise anybody? I don't know what's less surprising. That there's a Republican MAGA lieutenant governor trying for higher office that's supported by Donald Trump that has a sex scandal? I mean, does that shock anybody? Or that this black man calls himself a black Nazi in trying to win the governorship of North Carolina? Now, I'm going to continue with the CNN reporting in a moment. But let me just tell you that this isn't the media tying the Trump and the black Nazi together. So far, we're hearing nothing from the Donald Trump campaign except I would say, a ill-advised choice of words, where one of his Donald Trump's campaign spokespersons said in response to the story, the reporting, that Mark Robinson frequented a porn site like transgender porn and made slurs against Jews masquerading as a black Nazi. Their response to the porn story was, "We're keeping our eye on the ball." I'm just going to let that land there for a moment. That's not the imagery that I'd want to leave in people's minds. See, now I can't unsee that. Sorry for that. I had to pass that along. Let me play a clip then, just so you think we're not being fair and balanced. Let me play you a short clip of Mark Robinson defending himself. Now note that he decides to do it with a backdrop of his campaign and his office, the imprimatur of his office as lieutenant governor. So let's play that clip.
Hey guys, Lieutenant Governor Robinson and your Republican nominee for governor as well, of course. Well guys, the news media is at it again. My opponent is at it again. You all have seen the half-truths and outright lies of Josh Stein on these ads over and over again. And now a story leaked by him to CNN is appearing now. Let me reassure you, the things that you will see in that story, those are not the words of Mark Robinson. You know my words, you know my character, and you know that I have been completely transparent in this race and before. Folks, this race right now, our opponents are desperate to shift the focus here from the substantive issues and focus on what you are concerned with to salacious tabloid trash. We cannot allow that to happen. And folks, we've seen this type of stuff in the past as well. Clarence Thomas famously once said he was the victim of a high-tech lynching. Well, it looks like Mark Robinson is too, by a man who refuses to stand on stage and debate me about the real issues that face you Instead, they want to focus on salacious tabloid lies. We're not going to let them do that. We are staying in this race. We are in it to win it. And we know that with your help, we will. God bless you. And we will see you where? On the campaign trail.
Well, did that make you feel any better? Did that make you feel like CNN hadn't done its job of journalistic integrity, corroborating the stories with multiple sources? The fact that he likes to invoke Clarence Thomas, here's another example of high-tech lynching. I mean, Clarence Thomas was not an example of high-tech lynching, right? When he was being confirmed for the Supreme Court position and women came out against him, including Anita Hill, who had been his underling, somebody that he was the boss of in the EEOC, and said he made frequent comments about pornography and about the size of a certain porn star's genitalia in front of her and tried to groom her. That was shot down and rejected, even by Joe Biden, who was on the Judiciary Committee at the time. That wasn't a high-tech lynching. That was an airing of a woman's authentic grievances of sexual misconduct by Clarence Thomas. Same thing here. The only thing that Clarence Thomas and this guy have in common is they seem to be enthusiastic supporters of pornography, which in and of itself is not a disqualifier necessarily, even though under Project 2025, which seems to be Donald Trump's Bible and blueprint for his first 180 days in office, written by people in his campaign, including J.D. Vance, supporting all the policies in there. And one of their policies, they're anti-pornography. So how Donald Trump, who used to rent space to a strip club in one of his casinos, and is one of the biggest misogynists and abusers of women I've ever seen, let alone somebody who's been in the Oval Office, how he continues to support Mark Robinson, I don't know, birds of a feather? I really don't know it. And I don't think anybody feels more confident having now seen both Donald Trump endorsing and embracing, think of that imagery, Mark Robinson, and then Mark Robinson trying to weasel his way out of it. Now, behind the scenes, the Republicans, including, I believe, Donald Trump's people, are trying to get Mark Robinson to exit stage left. The problem is ballots are being printed and early balloting and early voting is about to happen in places like North Carolina, which are very, very important to the electoral fortunes of Kamala Harris. There's no other way to put this. Yes, there are 7 battleground states that are involved, but the three that will determine the election likely are North Carolina, Georgia, and Pennsylvania. If Kamala Harris doesn't win Pennsylvania and or one of the two of North Carolina or Georgia, her chances of getting to the Oval Office are not that great, as enthusiastic as people are like me for her campaign. She has to win Pennsylvania. She's got to lock that down. She has to spend almost all of her time in Pennsylvania with Tim Walz and Joe Biden and others to try to win, and along with Josh Shapiro, the governor there, to win Pennsylvania. There's no other way around it. And then she's got to do something that a Democratic nominee has only done a couple of times. I mean, Georgia, Jimmy Carter, and Joe Biden. North Carolina, Barack Obama. That's it. We're done. We don't have to have a whole scroll of names of Democrats that have won those 2 states. She's got to run the table, or at least come close to it. And so now this is perfect, exquisite timing for a depraved, in his own words, pervert who is embraced by Donald Trump running for governor of the state. If that doesn't bring people to the ballot in North Carolina and vote for Kamala Harris while they're there, between abortion rights on the ballot and this kind of thing on the ballot, I don't know what will. But we got to get people to the ballot. Supreme Court is on the ballot, so to speak. Abortion rights, women's rights to be restored to first-class citizenship in this country is on the ballot. And North Carolina and its lieutenant governor on the Nude Africa site as Black Nazi is on the ballot, unless he's off the ballot. And even if he gets ripped off the ballot, but even by the time this hot take goes up and they try to replace him last minute, it bodes well for Kamala Harris and her campaign as her long coattails sweep in whatever the Democrat that's running there. So hopefully we'll get a Democratic governor in North Carolina. Georgia goes in favor of Kamala Harris. They already have 2 senators, Warnock and Ossoff in Georgia, who are federal U.S. senators who are Democrats. And Pennsylvania, headed by Josh Shapiro, should go Kamala Harris as well. Things are breaking Kamala Harris's way, and we're watching it. You couldn't ask for a better gift than Mark Robinson to Kamala Harris as she campaigns in Georgia and North Carolina. Now in Georgia, she's going to campaign on reproductive rights and women's rights and restoring them to first-class citizenship. And she's got the way to do it. She is the defender of women's rights and people that support women and abortion rights. And we have at least 2 fatalities in Georgia related to their 6-week abortion ban and doctors not providing needed medical emergency procedures to save the life of mothers. And now we have 2 dead mothers in Georgia who have left children motherless because of the policies of MAGA, MAGA, and Donald Trump and Governor Kemp there. And so we have that as a campaign platform for Kamala Harris. We'll be talking about that in Georgia, North Carolina. We got the Black Nazi, and in Pennsylvania, thank God we got Josh Shapiro. So we'll continue to tie it all together on the new Legal AF YouTube channel. Go out and free subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. It's free. Help us get to 100,000 subscribers by Halloween. We're averaging over 500 subscribers an hour as we build this pro-democracy channel in collaboration with the Midas Touch Network. Come here. I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics and bringing together contributors and voices from around the spectrum and on the Midas Touch Network that you've come to know and love. There's no other place than Legal AF. 40 million people a month know that Legal AF is the home, the honest home of law and politics commentary and analysis like no other on the YouTube dial. So until my next Legal AF podcast, Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. on the Midas Touch Network, and until my next exclusive content for the new Legal AF YouTube channel, free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. This is Michael Popok reporting. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.